Hello and welcome to today's reading. Happy new moon, happy new year for those of you who celebrate today as the start of your year. We have a powerful new moon in Aquarius, which is giving us some fresh energy, some chance for forward motion, an opportunity for bringing in perhaps new energy, new inspiration, new ways of looking at things. So let's pull some cards and see how that might be playing out for your purpose. You might be having a kind of energy surge and perhaps looking at things in a from a slightly different perspective than you were, and seeing where there's a way forward where previously it felt like there was, no chance for movement. So very briefly, that's the kind of energy that we're moving into. Okay, that one was kind of jumping out, so we'll leave that one there. It feels like it might be relevant, and we'll see what the messages are. And now that we are in February, so a whole new month. So, okay, lay out the cards, and then we'll talk through the energies that we have at the moment. Okay, let's get organised. Okay, so in terms of the card that was jumping was the Break the Chain card, which is all about breaking patterns of the past, healing, rewriting the future. So this is the message of, and this is just a card that was like kind of trying to jump out. This is the message of what has gone before is not indicative of what is next to come. So part of this kind of new lease of life you might be feeling is a kind of having that realization that although this is what's always been true previously, it is not where I need to stay. I actually am not chained to this. Maybe I've had that feeling that I am, but I'm actually not chained to these previous ways of being or thinking, which have actually been holding me back from creating what I really want. So I'm not chained. I can actually choose to walk away at any time. That feels so. Perhaps that's going to be relevant for our reading today. In terms of where you are in the present is the Priestess. So this is how you've been called to step up and lead. And part of doing that, as you can see, is although she's kind of got her eyes open, she's very much in this position of looking inward. She's holding out her hands ready to receive. She's aligned with her feminine energy. She is supported, so she's balanced with her masculine energy, and she is ready. And she's almost kind of looking within. She's like looking within to check that everything is lining up in her focus of what she wants to create. So anything that is unnecessary or irrelevant to her is either falling away or she is moving away from. So if we go back to this card that jumped, it's anything that's previously been holding you back is just from the meaning it has been given. There is nothing actually physically restricting you from moving forward. So she's kind of taking this moment of deep contemplation to kind of make sure that all her energy is lined up, ready to move forward. And in terms of what your soul is calling you to do, the boundaries card has come out. So while she's in this kind of, this is what she's doing outwardly, but internally she's doing this. She's standing in this place of anything that doesn't line up with the vision that I'm creating, that I'm moving forward, that I'm moving towards, is literally cannot now come into my field. This is my field of creation. This is what I'm calling in. And anything that does not fit into there will have to stay outside of it. And she's very strong, and she's using all her focus to keep that in place because she is committed to what she's creating. In terms of where this is leading, or what's rising in you, why is this happening, is she's ready to go on a journey. And as you can see from this, the way this scene is depicted, this is not just any journey. This is a journey of her soul's expression. This is what she's here to do. This is her purpose. So this is, in its highest sense, what is your soul here to experience? And it's kind of realizing that nothing's been holding me back. And for me to go on this journey, I actually have to focus. I have to be conscious in how I make my choices, conscious in where I put my energy, conscious in what I allow into my world. And I have to be disciplined with that intention. What's falling away is anything that isn't serving her, anything that isn't part of this path. And you can see that in both these images, well, you could depict that the stars in the sky, so we'll say that it's night. This is kind of under the moonlight. So this is actually being deeply connected to her intuition. This is not just this is following what she knows to be true, regardless of what other people think or say. So this is the kind of that quiet time when the moon comes out and you can kind of think, you have less distractions, there's less noise, there's less kind of activity, there's less energies playing out around you, and you can kind of think in that different way and actually be really conscious about what is true for you. In terms of soul gifts, it's soul family, connecting to the like-minded people who are going to come on this journey or be part of this journey. And again, being very conscious about who gets to be part of your tribe. There's a real message here of being very conscious, very deliberate in who you're connecting to, who you're sharing your energy with. And again, that comes from being very connected to your intuition. So this is kind of quieting down the mind, quieting down the nervous system, quieting down your environment, and becoming very clear. In terms of what's been manifested, the Star Mother card is here. This is a message of how you can mother yourself. So this is, and I spoke about this recently, to go on this epic journey, this journey, like a soul's journey of a lifetime, it requires the mother energy. So this is who you get to be when you feel totally seen and loved and cared for, nurtured, that unconditional love. Going through this process is a massive form of self-care and unconditional love. and actually supporting yourself as a mother would to a baby. And it's what's required to break free of this, the things that have held you back. Because part of that process, there may be resistance from other people, and you may have to do some of this journey feeling like you are all by yourself. And you're not, because you have your soul family that you're calling in, you have your tribe around you, but you may not always feel it. And it's all underpinned by this feeling of unconditional love. In terms of your next step, where you're going, you can't make this up, it's share your voice. We see 2 images of this cave. This is the place you've been where you feel that you can't fully express yourself, where you can't really share what is true for you. Come out of the cave, persecution, expression. Persecution's where she's been. And part of this, you can't kind of not notice this, is that there is so much water here. And water's kind of denotes being in the feminine, being in flow, moving with where things take us, but also being very, again, conscious about your feelings about things, your feelings about this part of your life which has kept you feeling chained and bound. And then taking those feelings and knowing what to do with them, how to process them, how to manage them. And having, again, that kind of control and consciousness to then choose how you're going to express yourself in the world. Whether that's a message that you're here to share, or something that you're going to create, or something that you're going to be part of, who you get to be in your full expression, who you get to be in this energy. You've balanced out the feminine, you've balanced out your masculine, and you're just ready to lead. So part of whatever it is that you're here to express, you're not just doing it for just for you, that it will impact other people. In terms of past life influence, it's the inner temple card, which speaks of devotion and tune into the portal of your heart. Again, we have the moon, so kind of what is not directly visible to us. But this is, in terms of past life, there's quite a contrast here between this image and this image. And you've always, the thing that you have within you, this higher expression of your soul, has always been there. But it is now, for whatever's happened in your life, because it's you, because this is what part of your soul's purpose is to actually bring forth this energy into the now. But you're not kind of reinventing the wheel, you're just actually bringing out what's already there, but it's been hidden. It's been kept out of sight. And it's kind of being called forth with this unconditional, under this kind of energy of just unconditional love for yourself. In terms of hopes and fears, or in terms of what you need to know, is again the crumbling, which I think came out in a very similar position last time. And this is, look at the energy of these cards. This is the falling away of all this. This is the complete kind of detachment from all of this. This is kind of leaving none of this in its place. It's completely creating the space to build something new. All this heaviness, all this dark energy, it is completely falling away. And you may find that you're clinging onto it a little bit because while this has been a cave, it's been somewhere that you've known. It's something familiar. And you may not have chosen a cave to be in, as it were, but it's what you've known. And so there is a kind of perceived safety with it. But again, it's letting this go. Letting this go to bring forward what you were always here to do. But this has not kind of been possible until now. And when we think we're moving into this new moon in Aquarius, this new kind of lease of life, this 111 on the time, it's this new energy that you're able to bring to things. The old, what was old and went old, but not just old as in, but old back through lifetimes. It is now a timeline that is able to kind of be put to rest, so a new one can kind of take over. In terms of the hopes and fears, is the play card, which is something that we all need to do more. Most of us do, because this process, when we look at the energy of this card, this doesn't look very fun. So how can we make this process fun? How can we make this process of coming out of this kind of cave more enjoyable? It doesn't have to be so serious all the time. And actually, the more that you can, show love for yourself, connect to your soul family, and actually be intentional about what you're bringing in. Where can you bring some lightheartedness to this? Where can you bring some kind of different energy to this and actually enjoy this process? There's nothing about this that says that it has to be really serious all the time. In fact, would it actually expedite the journey by making it more fun? In terms of the outcome, it's the Council of Light card, which is divine orchestration. Again, the moon is here. Help us in the subtle realms. This is written, this process that you're now coming up against. This was always part of the plan, that you were going to kind of step forward at this point in time. So anything that is falling away for you and you're thinking, well, what is going to be left? It is meant to be happening. There are forces, whether you believe in angels or just energies, there are forces around you which is bringing this about for this to happen now. So the more that you connect to your intuition, we've got the moon, I don't know how many times here, the more that you connect to your intuition, the more you allow yourself to take the time to be conscious, take the time to be quiet, and listen to what's true for you, and also to have expression, and that gets to be fun. So how can expressing yourself start to be fun and enjoyable? Then you're just going to be on this journey, and this is just going to be something that was in the past. In terms of what was underneath the deck, we had answered the call. And you answered that call. You know, what's your soul calling? Your soul is literally ringing you up. And if it was, what would it be saying to you? And you get to hear that when you become more conscious with your energy, and you allow yourself to be quiet and tune into what you actually know, because all of this is within you. Every sort of step of this journey is already kind of mapped out within you, and it is now this point in time that you're ready to embark upon it, which is actually a really exciting time, because you are rewriting history, and that is part of what you're here for. This was always part of your soul's plan to do this. You know, it's no accident that this card jumped out before I'd even kind of got the main cards. You are rewriting the future. There was a version of the future for you which was based upon this old way of being, and you are actually in this position of stepping away from this and creating this other reality. And that is part of what you're here for. That is the reason that you're here. So that is actually a very exciting journey. And it's a journey of being very intentional, very conscious. That's the word that keeps coming through. Being very conscious of the steps that you're taking, and how you're using your energy is going to be really, really important for you. So let's just see if we've got another message, and then I'll close out this reading. There's just an extra message that we might need. Let's see what comes through. Okay, so talking about this unconditional love, a leg up, feeling supported, feeling cared for, feeling that you are unconditionally loved, feeling that there is, you know, you're not alone on this. There is family, and whatever family means to you, family around you bringing these changes about. You know, our sense of family is very, very important to us, and sometimes we have to kind of create that feeling ourselves. And what was underneath the deck was between worlds, and this is literally the transition that you're going through. And the more intentional you are, the more consciously you approach this, the more you're going to be fully in this side of the card. So I feel they were the messages. If you'd like this reading, then please feel free to like it and share it. Subscribe to my channel to see future readings. And if you'd like a more personal reading where I'll go more in depth into your purpose and what's coming up for you, you can book that in my information below. Otherwise, I shall see you next time. Thank you for watching.